Welcome back. Before flying machines of any kind were built, humans flew for the first time in a hot air balloon, just like the Wizard of Oz, almost 250 years ago. Hot air balloons have no steering wheel or a way to control the direction of flight, so they were never a practical form of flight. Hot air balloons are still used today, though, for recreational fun and competitions. Ballooning did spark the invention of the parachute, as landing safely was rather tricky. Parachutes use many of the same principles of flight that we have learned about, although the goal of a parachute is to slow the rate an object falls, rather than keep an object in the air. In Challenge 2, we learned that gravity is the force that pulls objects to the earth, and drag is anything that slows down flight. We cannot change gravity, but we can increase the drag. One way to do this is to have a larger surface area than your body for the air to push back on. Some of the first parachutes had frames, but they were too heavy to bring up in a balloon. A strong but lightweight material works best. Silk was discovered to be light and easy to fold, and many years later, parachutes were folded into a backpack with a harness, like they are today. Your parachute has a paratrooper strapped in for our experiments. If possible, do this experiment outside for maximum results. Start by opening the parachute to look at the shape and size. Why do you think the circle is so large for such a small paratrooper? Wrap up the paratrooper in the parachute like a ball and throw it up in the air. Did the parachute open? Experiment with different ways to fold the parachute before throwing it up. How many seconds can you keep it in the air? The higher you are able to throw it up in the air, the longer the glide will be as it falls. Add weight to your paratrooper and observe how that makes a difference. Place the target on the ground and try to land your paratrooper in the circles. Is it harder than you thought? If you were the pilot of a round parachute, you would soon learn that just like a hot air balloon, there is no steering wheel. Rectangular parachutes act much more like the wing on an airplane and can be steered by pulling on the strings. Exactly the same principles apply to these parachutes as an airplane. They are called ram parachutes because the air is pushed or rammed into the canopy, and that means the air moves faster under it than over it. This creates lift, and so it's much more like flying, without the motor, of course. Look around your house and experiment with different materials that can be used to make parachutes. Think about all you know about lift, gravity, thrust, and drag while you create.